Every single minute of every single day, an American dies of cancer, a statistic that leaves few of us untouched by that disease. And even with the progress, the battle to end cancer has become one of the toughest fights the world has ever known. Well, tonight, our troubleshooters are digging deeper into how close we may be to finding a cure.
Delane Matthew found the answers at the UT Health Science Center's Cancer Therapy and Research Center, where that search for a cure begins.
This is the front line in the war on cancer. A collection of beakers, lab coats, and brilliant minds working to not only cure cancer, but minimize the wounds the fight leaves along the way.
You lose your hair, which is pretty traumatic. For me, okay, it was one thing, okay, I'm bald, but then I lost my eyebrows and my eyelashes, and then I looked so strange, and I didn't recognize myself in the mirror.
Today, Cheryl Blaylock is stronger and breast cancer free after a long, hard fight.
I started chemo in February. I continued until July, which was the longest 6 months of my life.
Easing the toxicity of chemotherapy is just one goal at the CTRC. Researchers are also developing new treatments and letting no stone go unturned in a search for a cure.
Some of the best therapies, or some of the therapies we're looking at, have come from the bottom of ships, where they've scraped off the barnacles from ships, and who would ever think to let's look at this as a new cancer treatment? Well, sure enough, some of them work.
Dr. Steve Whiteman is the director for drug development.
Our goal is really to get any of the best ideas we can to the patients.
Right now, one of the most promising ideas is in these cancer-infested petri dishes. It's a molecule found naturally in the human body called microRNA. Dr. Manjeet Rao has spent 5 years turning it into a cancer-fighting drug like no other.
These microRNAs basically are gene silencers. So they sit on the gene and chew the gene.
They're targeting triple-negative breast cancer, a very aggressive form where the cells double every 20 minutes.
So these mice have been injected with that deadly form of breast cancer. Researchers let the cancer grow, metastasize inside their bodies. And after only 6 microRNA injections, these little guys show some promising results. Not only did the cancer go away, but it didn't come back.
So far we have looked at 3 months period, and these mice are just fine. So it's very revolutionary thing what we have done.
Revolutionary, but still at least a decade away from FDA approval. And it still needs to be tested in humans.
There is a gap there that I call the valley of death. It's where a lot of drugs just fall by the wayside.
Dr. Rao's team has to pass a gamut of tests and file mounds of paperwork with the FDA before the drug can even go into humans. On average, it takes 10 years and $1 billion for the FDA's seal of approval. Here's why. Phase 1, the first human trial, can take 18 months to 2 years. Phase 2, how well the treatment works, tack on another few years. Phase 3, the study widens up to 1,000 patients and at least 3 years of testing. And then the FDA has to review it all. Is it because of all this red tape that they haven't found a cure?
Cancer is, unfortunately, much smarter than we are. So we get very close many times, thinking that we've got the cure. And then we just realize the cancer has outsmarted us again.
Great strides have been made in this war on cancer, and Cheryl is living proof of that.
It feels good now that I went through that. I survived. I know I'm a strong person. Kind of empowering feeling that you're one piece of that puzzle.
Delane Matthew, News 4, San Antonio.
Now, both Dr. Whiteman and Dr. Rao say they're confident we will find a cure in our lifetimes. And the FDA is now working on speeding things along. They recently started allowing the most promising research to go onto a faster track that should shave the approval process by about 3 years.